Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Alex, and today we're going to get into yet another end of the season award and my predictions on them. I've already gone through Rookie of the Year, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and Coach of the Year, and today we're going to be going through the Most Improved Player award. This award to me is the most annoying to predict because a lot of the times it's very just unpredictable. A lot of these people that end up winning the award, I don't really expect going into the season winning it, but that's kind of the fun thing about this award as well, because then you get to see how much better someone gets from one year to the next. Like Lauri Markkanen, no one expected Lauri Markkanen to be this good right now, and that's a big reason why he won it last year. But I got 6 candidates that I potentially could see winning the Most Improved Player award, and let's just get right into it. And for my first candidate, I have Franz Wagner of the Orlando Magic. Franz, in just his second year, has already proven to be a very solid two-way guy, being able to give you about 18 points per game, play some pretty decent defense, and also have a pretty good knack of passing and playmaking as well. Yes, his assist numbers don't really necessarily show that, but I think when you actually watch him, I definitely do think he shows some great signs of being a really good playmaker and a passer. And going into the season, I'm just very high on the Magic, and a big reason for that is Franz and Paolo, but in particular, I think Franz is going to really solidify himself as the best player on this team. I think as it stands right now, I think it's kind of a toss-up between Paolo and Franz. I think they both kind of provide different things, but if I'm Franz, I'm trying to solidify myself as that number one guy, and if he can take a scoring leap, be about a 23 to 24 point per game score, with his efficiency seeing a rise as well, and maybe, hey, his rebounding and playmaking numbers go up as well, I think that could do wonders for him and his case as a Most Improved Player candidate. Franz is also a fairly healthy guy as well. He plays almost every single game in the regular season, so that would give him a really good chance of winning this award as well, since now you have to play at least 65 games to be eligible for these awards. So with that all being said, I do think Franz does have a really legit case to be a MIP. For my second candidate for the Most Improved Player, I have Jordan Poole, and this might be one of the more obvious picks. Poole is going to be getting a whole lot of shots now that he is most likely going to be the number one option on a Wizards team that is going to be tanking. He was already a 20 point per game scorer on the Warriors coming off the bench. Now as a starter, seeing some more minutes as well, I will not be surprised if he is shooting at least 20 shots a game and averaging close to 30 points per game. Yes, the efficiency is probably not going to be great. It really hasn't been great his entire career, but if you're the voters and you see that he's going from 20 points per game to like 28, 29, that's an 8 to 9 point differential. I think that will hold a lot of weight for those voters, despite what the efficiency may say. But if the efficiency does go up as well with his scoring volume, hey, I think that just solidifies this case even more. And I think Poole as a passer and just playmaker as well has gotten better throughout the years, but again, with a increased role, I think he'll be able to show that off a whole lot more, and I can't wait to see what Poole does on the Wizards. The next candidate that I have is Tyrese Maxey of the Philadelphia 76ers. Now this is a guy I'm already pretty high on anyway. I think he's shown some really good upside, even playing alongside Joel Embiid and James Harden, but because of we just don't know what's going to be happening to James Harden, I would not be surprised if for the majority of the season, Tyrese Maxey is the second guy on the 76ers team. And if that's the case, he was already a 20 point per game scorer, so much like Poole, I can see his scoring numbers going up as well, and he is already a very efficient player as well, so I don't think that's going to be hard for him to do. And with a increased role as the second guy, Maxey will probably be getting a lot more of the playmaking responsibilities as well, so I could see his assist numbers going up alongside his points per game. So if the voters are saying that he's rising in points by maybe 5 to 7 points per game, and his assist numbers are looking around like 5 or 6, which right now they're only about like 3, that would be a significant jump, I think, in my opinion, for the voters to give him some recognition. And it should be said with all of these awards, winning is almost never considered with this award because it just has to do with the individual player. So whether or not the Sixers succeed with him as a second option or not, if he is increasing his stats and the Sixers are playing good, then I think he's going to have a really good shot at winning Most Improved Player. We got 3 candidates left, and with this next one, I'm going to go with Jalen Green. Now, this one is kind of interesting because Jalen Green, at least from a numbers perspective, is already really good. He's giving you about 22 points per game. However, what's really holding him back, at least in my eyes, is his efficiency. So he doesn't really have to do much of a statistical jump in terms of points per game. If he goes from a 22 to 25 point per game score, but his efficiency takes a huge leap, which I think it very well could, especially with Ime Udoka coming in, setting a new culture. Maybe Sengun gets a little bit more involved as a passer. Fred VanVleet is there. He should make Jalen Green's life a little bit easier as well. Jabari Smith taking a jump. All these other players on the Rockets, I think, are going to make Jalen Green's job a whole lot easier. I think Jalen Green was really just relying on himself and just a really bad coach. So maybe with a better system in play, he will have that efficiency go up alongside his scoring as well. And the most improved player award is also very interesting as well, because this is a high lottery pick and he's going into his third year. So with picking guys like Jalen Green, are we just being impatient with him? It's like, it's his third year. Like, he is bound to make a leap at some point, but are we really going to give him most improved player? Because it's like, he was probably going to reach this potential at some point anyway. I don't know, but I think it'd be pretty interesting to see what Jalen Green could do this season, again, with a new culture being set in Houston. Next player that I have for the most improved player award is yet another Wizards player. This is Tyus Jones, and this is kind of my dark horse. I don't really think he has that legit of a shot to win it. He is definitely not a score first point guard. He is more of a facilitator on the team. But with him coming off the bench with the Grizzlies the past couple of seasons, and now probably going to be starting on the Wizards alongside with Jordan Poole at the 2, I could really see him being more involved in the offense, not only as a passer and playmaker, but also as a scorer. For the Grizzlies, Tyus Jones was giving you about 10 points per game and 5 assists off the bench on very minimal turnovers as well, and some pretty decent efficiency. As a starter, if he's able to jump up to a 15-16 point per game scorer, maybe a 7-8 assist guy, and those turnovers are also staying low as well, and the efficiency is staying about the same, I think he could very well have a pretty solid case in this. But because Jordan Poole is on his team, I just think Poole is maybe a more guaranteed pick for the most improved player than Tyus Jones. But I think we need to give some love to Tyus Jones because he is one of the better point guards in the league. He's just been on the bench. So it'll be really interesting to see what he does now as a starter. For my last candidate for who could potentially win the most improved player award, I'm going to go with Cam Thomas. Now, Cam Thomas is another guy who I don't really think is going to win the award, but I think it'd be really interesting to see what he could potentially do. From a guard perspective on the Nets, you have Spencer Dinwiddie, you have Ben Simmons. Mikal Bridges, I believe, is probably going to be playing at the shooting guard position. They also just acquired Lonnie Walker and Dennis Smith Jr. as well. So that is 5 guards already, and I haven't even spoken about Cam Thomas on this Nets team. And I don't know, maybe the minutes aren't really available for Cam Thomas, but I do think Cam Thomas has shown to be a really good bench scorer, and I think he should be getting a lot more playing time than he really is. If Jacque Vaughn can give Cam Thomas a little bit more minutes, I think Cam can really prove himself. And even in the limited time, he played 16 minutes per game. He was giving you 10 points per game on some really good efficiency. If he can maybe push up his minutes to about 20 minutes per game and maybe have a more increased role in the offense, especially as a bench scorer, I could really see him pushing maybe 15 points per game. Again, I don't think Cam Thomas is going to win this award by any means, but I'm really high on Cam Thomas as a bench scorer, and I think he could prove a lot this season, just as long as he gets the playing time to show off his skills. Now, at the end of the day, who do I think is going to win the most improved player award? If I had to pick the most guaranteed person out of these 6 players that I listed, I think I would go with Jordan Poole. I think he's going to have the points per game increase. I don't really think the efficiency is really going to matter that much. If it stays about the same, if it stays relatively the same based off what he's done in the past, I think that's still fine enough for him to win the award. He is going to get the shots. That is a guarantee. He is going to shoot those shots. That's another guarantee. So I just feel like this is the more guaranteed pick. It's the safest pick. If I had to pick a second guy who I think would probably be the runner-up, I think I would go with Franz. And then depending on what happens with James Harden, I think Maxey could very well be third place in this race as well. But who knows? Again, this is one of the most unpredictable awards in the NBA, and we're just going to have to ultimately find out who wins it by the end of the year. But hey, those are my thoughts on the most improved player award. Let me know down below what y'all think. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and sub. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs by the end of the year, so it would mean a lot. Make sure to check out my socials down below in the description. You can also check out this video somewhere on the screen. Anyways, I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.